Pam, we have another guest here. One of your team members. You want to introduce Miss Alexandra?
Yes, this is Alexandra Sapolin. She's a second-year law student here at Santa Clara. And
Congratulations.
she just also informed us today that she's been accepted into the coveted Entrepreneurs Law Clinic as a student for next semester. So congratulations.
We'll be
on
working
that.
together, yeah.
Yes. So what excited you about this program, and why did you decide to volunteer for it?
Oh gosh, so there's, even when I was looking at law schools to apply to, my big draw to Santa Clara Law was the Entrepreneurs Law Clinic.
Is that right?
Yes, it was.
Wow.
I knew
That's good
for
to hear.
a really long time that I wanted to give back to my community. So I grew up in a house where my parents were also entrepreneurs and starting their own business.
Nice.
And they had mentioned that they thought it would have been very beneficial to have an attorney who not only understood what the needs of African American communities were,
Nice.
but also was well informed of the challenges that we face and what's required for us to be successful when we're engaging in business.
Nice.
My family is also Catholic, so they always were very excited for me to give back to my community. That was what I was raised on. So Santa Clara Law was a very good fit for me.
Perfect.
So when I came here, I was thrilled and really excited when I found out that the Entrepreneurs Legal Advising Clinics were starting. I thought that was an amazing opportunity. I loved the idea of knowing that students didn't have to wait until they finished their first year of law school to start working directly with community members on the exciting projects that they're working on. So what a gift it's been to be able to do this kind of work.
And this is a gift for us too, Alexander, because here in Santa Clara County, the African American community is 3%. A very small percent. There are entrepreneurs here in this community, but we need to be able to identify resources to help us grow and scale up our businesses. And so by you being here, by you being a legal representative to be able to impart knowledge on a pro bono level is phenomenal, because we don't see a lot of this in our community. Oakland, San Francisco, that's a little bit different. Bay Area, the greater Bay Area. But here in Santa Clara County, we still need the help and support. So hands up, bravo to you for being here and being interested. It's going to be awesome. Now, some of the different type of sessions, you mentioned some of what we're talking, you're going to be working with people that need help with LLCs and S-Corps and what else? Business, not necessarily business plans, but intellectual properties and stuff like that. Copywriting.
Yes.
Right here? Yes. I'm going to need to talk to you. And so tell us a little bit more about those other subjects that you're going to be covering for entrepreneurs so we can get them in the door.
So the entrepreneurs who come to the legal advising clinics come with us with a wide array of legal issues that they would like advice or assistance in resolving. Examples of some of the things that the team that I work on has addressed. We've worked with entrepreneurs on issues pertaining to patents, copyrights, and trademarks. So we'll have a lot of entrepreneurs who will come in and ask us questions about, I want to brand my business in this way. What are the considerations that I need to think about before I go ahead and move forward with applying? So we do a lot of work around that.
Nice.
We also work with especially smaller to mid-size businesses where they're thinking about best practices for interacting with employees. So we'll also look at employee manuals as well, and give advice
policies
on.
And
yes.
Well, and also there's been a recent change in employment law here in California,
do tell.
particularly having to do with independent contractors.
Yes.
This is known as the new Uber laws and things like that.
We need a class on that.
Really restrict more tightly what kinds of workers can qualify as independent contractors,
like
as
1099s versus
1099 versus
employees.
W-2s, and so we get a lot of people coming in with questions about that.
Yes.
Another big change that's happening is in internet and privacy law. The GDPR, the European privacy law affects a lot of small businesses here. In addition to that, soon will be what has passed at the state level is a new Privacy Law Act.
Especially because of
So-
like Facebook and
Right.
the debacle with all of
Right.
those issues. and
Now,
stuff, too,
hopefully
yeah.
that won't affect too many
Mhm.
smaller businesses. It's really aimed more at larger businesses. But if you're even a small e-commerce company,
Mhm.
you might be doing, tens of thousands of customers that you're servicing.
Right,
So
right, and you gotta protect yourself.
You never can tell what new regulations you might have to comply with, even at the state level.
Also, one of my favorites is NDAs.
Oh.
Everybody's like, you need to protect yourself, you need an NDA, you need an NDA, non-disclosures, right? And it's like, oh, okay. And so a lot of small businesses don't know about that. They don't know how to protect themselves when they're sharing and interchanging information with other businesses because people steal your ideas. I love to share, right? And so I might have, something might come out of my mouth and somebody's like, oh, I'm taking that, right? And so we have to protect ourselves and have non-disclosure agreements. And so again, I'm glad that's another area that you guys are covering. That's going to be really, really hot.
Yeah, we can really help people discern whether or not their idea or their work is protectable and if they want to pursue other avenues. We don't actually file any patent applications or trademark applications, but we can help guide somebody through that process
Right.
or help them discern whether or not their particular idea is worthy of, pursuing one of those avenues.
And I'm a creative. And so I have ideas. I might send Pam an email. Pam, what about this? What about that? And it's like, I'm always like, blah, 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 blah. But there are some things that are like, oh, this is good, right? To carry further. But then, okay, this is not so important. This is not such a big deal. But a lot of us are creatives and there's new stuff being created like every few minutes, right? And so this is our time. But we have to protect ourselves. We have to have the legal resources and put them in place to protect what we're doing and educate people about that.
Yeah, a lot of people come to us with a long laundry list of issues that they want to deal with, and there may not be time in a 30-minute session to be able to deal with all of them.
Right.
But we can often help them prioritize. Like you were saying, well, this is not as important for you to deal with right now than this issue, or this is a boulder, that's a
Right.
pebble.
Right.
These are where we would recommend that you
Right.
focus your energy.
That's a good point.
I wanted to point out something, though, too, about the fact that these are just 30-minute advising
Sessions, absolutely.
So you think, what can be done in 30 minutes?
A lot can be done in 30 minutes.
And one way that we achieve that is people have to sign up in advance. They have to request an appointment. It's not these are not drop-in clinics. So they sign up in advance. They provide information about their business, about their legal question, and then the sooner we get that information, the better, because we can get that to the law students and they can actually be doing some research about the topic.
Awesome.
And they can contact the client and request more information, right?
Yes, so even before we go into the advising clinics, part of our preparation that we do is we'll have an initial call with everyone who comes in as one of our clients or
Like an
entrepreneurs.
intake call, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do an intake call. If there are more specific questions that you think of after the time that you submit your request for an appointment, we'll go ahead and do that research for you. So we work directly with the attorneys who supervise us
Nice.
to do that in-depth research, so we have substantive information to share with you when you come in to the clinic, so we can provide you with pointed advice and guidance on how to move forward.
Let me ask you another question. Do you also cover, I know you cover for-profit, do you also help with nonprofits?
We
Okay,
do.
we want to emphasize that as well. Lots of nonprofits out here that are gearing up, and so they need to know that as well. That's good. That's good.
We can also do things like review your application to help you identify whether or not you've really responded to all of the questions in the nonprofit
Yes.
application.
Oh my God, I
'Cause
did
can be a
that.
big one.
Tedious.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It can be.
I had someone guiding me. People
Good.
would come to me, oh, you have your 501c3. You can help me now. I was like, wait a minute. Because it is very tedious.
Yes.
And when I went online to the Secretary of State Department, I mean, there's so many different, websites, and it's like a maze. And that's another reason I'm doing what I'm doing, because the average person does not know where to go to find information, and you
It can
have
be
to sort
difficult,
through a
right.
maze of information. But if I can start that process through ODOS and identify your services, or services over here, or services over there, and put it on the website, do these little videos, do our workshops and our seminars, then people will have somewhere to go. It'll be like one-stop shopping, because a lot of people don't really know where to start.
Yeah, it's
So
really
yeah,
valuable.
it's very.
I'm grateful to you for doing that.
No, I'm grateful to you, but it is such a tedious process, and I wanted to just, you don't know how many times I just wanted to stop and put my head under the pillow and just, because I'm just climbing through all this information. But yeah, that's good. Nonprofits, yes.
There's another thing I'd like to mention, something you said triggered this. One of the things that we impress upon the law students, and that the community member that's coming for the services comes to understand, is one of the lawyer's favorite phrases is, "it depends." People will come to us and say, should I do this or should I do that? And we often just say, well, it depends, because our job is not so much to tell you what you should or shouldn't do, but rather to let you know, well, if you do this, then these might be the consequences. If you choose to do that, then these might be the kinds of things that could result from that decision. So we just help you identify what are your options,
Right.
what are the potential consequences for each, maybe help you do some risk analysis.
Absolutely.
But we don't usually tell clients what they should do. We just give them the information so that they are making their own decision, but with the aid of having legal information explained to them.
Some guidance is better than no guidance at all. It's like, I'll have a problem, and I'll be sitting at my laptop or just sitting up there thinking, like, okay, where am I going to go to get this question answered? Or where am I going to go to get this and that? And it's like, I got to go pay somebody $250 just to get a basic question answer. And so,
Not anymore.
I mean, that's perfect. That's perfect. So you want to tell us where people can sign up for
Sure.
the entrepreneurial clinic? And
So one of the easiest ways is to go to either SCORE or the Small Business Development Center. Both of those websites have information about how you can sign up for the clinic. They also have the advantage of opening up to you the availability of having mentors that can help you with your business problems, your business issues, learning, and things like that. So there's a wealth of services that are available particularly at SCORE or the Small Business Development Center, and also additionally the library. There's a resource center on the third floor of the
Absolutely.
library
They have an entrepreneurial
where we,
resource center, yeah.
so I urge people to go to one of those three.
Okay.
But it becomes a two-step process if you do that.
Okay.
The second step, which you can do just automatically, is to go to the URL, which I think is easy to remember. It's called tinyurl.com/ELC request F19 for fall 2019.
Okay.
So it's ELC request F19.
You guys memorize that now?
Yeah, tinyurl.com. But if you forget any of those, you can go to any of those websites at the Silicon Valley SCORE,
Okay.
The San Jose Library,
Okay.
or Small Business Development Center.
Okay.
In addition to that, you can go to Santa Clara University Law School and look up the ELC for Entrepreneurs
the
Law
ELC.
Clinic,
And
there you will also be led through the links to the Entrepreneurs
that'll
Legal
probably be the
Advising
easiest
Clinic.
way to start.
That might be the easiest way for
Santa
people to
Clara
get
Law
started.
Clinic,
Because
ELC.
that's what we are. We're
Yeah.
the Santa Clara Law School.
Any
ELC.
other exciting issues you want to add items you want to add about the program before we sign off? This has been so exciting, so awesome. I'm glad we finally got here, but is there any one thing that stands out that you want to share with our community before we sign off today?
Oh gosh, yes.
Yes.
So I think the best part of what we do through the Legal Advising Clinic is really learning about the creativity that comes out of Santa Clara County and from the entrepreneurs who live here. So part of what I love about doing the clinic is I get to just learn about what's happening here. And it makes me excited to want to be involved in the community even more.
Yes.
So that I think is something that's really unique and really special about this program.
Yes.
So there are also, we are waiting and we are so excited to help you and provide options for what you can do to like thrive. So that's been absolutely wonderful, and that's been, I think, the best part of the experience.
We're just all
that's great.
going with your energy. I'm
Yeah.
feeling it over
Isn't
here.
it wonderful?
I love
Yeah.
the vibe.
And this is the same vibe that we get from all of the students and all of the attorneys.
Nice.
And it is so much fun to query people after they come out of the clinic. And I'll often ask them, you know, how did it go? And I just get so many superlative reports, primarily about how much they enjoyed working with the students.
But,
You know,
but
in
they
addition-
have a great project manager
Yes, we
also,
do.
who
Yes, we do.
imparts the knowledge to empower people. And that's rare, Pam. You know that. I mean, we don't see a lot of that at the level that we should see, because people need a lot of empathy and empowerment in going to a lot of professional services. And
Well,
you're
that's the
giving
kind of
us
education we get here at Santa Clara.
Absolutely.
So
I'm
that's
loving it.
definitely a function of
I'm
the
loving
university
it.
here. So.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to be here today. I want to come back in the future to do some more segments with you in Alexandria, and we'll be seeing Alexandria too, because I think we're going to have you guys come out to our next Women of Color conference that we're going to be having in East Palo Alto in March of 2020. So
Sounds
we're
like
really
fun.
looking forward to that. and
I have to
legal
tell you,
knowledge.
the business conferences that she puts on are like no other.
I love her.
exciting.
Thank
It's,
you.
yeah, it was my first
I
experience.
paid her
at a
for
women-
that.
I felt awkward because I'm not a woman of color, so I felt a little awkward going to a conference for women of color. But I'll tell you, it was one of the most fun experiences
We
I've
love,
had.
we love
That's great.
Pam, and she really, really educated and empowered the audience. And that was my first one. That was my first event like that. I've given different kind of events in the past, but I'm really passionate, and we're going global. So if you want to hit some other countries with us, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing some
Sounds like a
retreats
plan.
in other countries. But I want to thank you, Alexandria. I'm looking forward to getting to know you. And everybody, get in contact, go on the website to Santa Clara University ELC to get information about their free pro bono legal services for entrepreneurs. And we especially want to get the word out to African American women, the African American community, to come out and get free pro bono legal services, so then we can grow our businesses. And it doesn't have to be about a business. It has to be about getting our lives straight and protecting ourselves and protecting our information and resources. And so we want to thank Santa Clara Law Center. We want to thank these lovely women. I look forward to working with them and partnering with them in the future. Also, go to ODOS Synergy Services Facebook page. We're on Facebook, ODOS Synergy Services nonprofit page, ODOS Synergy Services Women of Color Changing the Narrative page, and also I'm on LinkedIn and we're on Instagram. And so we look forward to hearing from you and you supporting us in future endeavors for entrepreneurs and women of color here in Silicon Valley and global. So thank you again, ladies. Talk
Thank
to you
you.
soon.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.